Get comfortable taking chances. You could say this whole mindset of following your passions, going against the whole world, doing things your way is a big risk and it's a big chance to make. You don't know if it's going to actually go the way you think it's going to go. And I'm here to tell you to get used to it. Get used to taking that chance and doing things without knowing what's going to happen in the future or not knowing if this is the right thing, but I need you to take the chance so we can have the chance of actually happening the best for you. Or if you don't take that chance, get comfortable being an average person. I'm going to say that in a more concise way. Get comfortable being uncomfortable or get comfortable being an average person. Let that sink in. I know that's a quote. Write that John down. Write that John down. But I'm gonna give y'all a little story to understand why you need to take chances. So when I used to go to my what do I call it? Your family reunion. I used to go to family reunions for one side of my family's. I think it was my mom's side. We used to play this game. It was called quarters. And every time, well, let me basically explain it. You get two cards. Everybody gets dealt two cards every deal. And you're using quarters for it, and you get these two cards. It may be like, say, a 2 and a queen, and you're trying to get a number in your next card that you get that's in between it, and you're basically betting that the card you're gonna get is gonna be in between those. You see what I'm saying? And so if you have two cards that are far away from each other, you have a better chance. And every time each deck goes on, you have to bet a quarter. And if you don't take any chances, you still have to bet a quarter. But if you take a chance and bet all of it, you have a chance of winning the whole pot, all the quarters. And so some of us, we have these chances in our lives where we have both of the cards that are wide open. Our passion is right there with our best chances to be successful, and we decide, no, I'm not going to take any chances. But what happens in this game is you still have to bet a quarter every time the deal, or you don't get to play. You have to bet a quarter. And so we keep betting these quarters. We're dying to live here. We keep betting the quarter, and then eventually we're left with two quarters, and we can't do anything else because we have to bet another quarter. But even if we bet that quarter, we're still going to lose because we already have ran out of our quarters. But if we would have bet everything in when we had the huge opportunity with our passion, and when both of the cards are spread out and we bet all our quarters, we would have got everything back. And then we don't even have to be dying to live. We don't have to be not risking everything. We're not having to say, I don't know. So a lot of us in our lives, we're stuck in these situations where we're saying, yeah, that might be a good path to take and it might have a good chance, but there's also this chance that it might not work out. But because we did that and we keep saying no to all these risks and all these chances we could take, then we're left with just one quarter. Then we're left to just survive. Then we're left to just do things the way other people say because you have no other choices. But if you decided to take your life into your hands and to take that big chance and say you don't win that chance, at least you know that it wasn't for you. At least you know that you tried. But the worst thing you could do is to not know if you tried and just to live your life knowing that you never even tried to take the chance to getting the whole pot. So understand, when you're not taking that risk and you're just leaving everything safe, you're limiting your potential by not taking that risk. And I'm not saying to always go all in, put all the quarters at the front and say, I'm taking the whole risk. I'm just telling you to never settle. To never settle in anything you do. There's so many people in this world that have become legends, they become legendary. They'll never be forgotten because they took those risks. And if they didn't take those risks, maybe they'll still. Let me slow down. But maybe if they never took those risks, they might still be a great person, but they'll never be a legend. You see, Michael Jordan had a chance of picking Converse or Nike. He could have put Converse. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird all wore Converse, but nobody wore Nike. Then he chose Nike, and what happens? He has the most legendary, has the most groundbreaking shoe of all time. We still wear it to this day. Ice Cube was with NWA, and he could have just stuck with NWA, let them do it. If you ever watched the movie, you could tell Ice Cube was basically getting not benefited by them, but they were benefiting himself with everything. But he took the biggest chance in going on his own. Now, Ice Cube is probably the biggest rapper to ever come out of NWA. And all these people have took a risk in their lives, even though they probably had a good shot of being good wherever they were at first. But because they took that because they took that big risk, they gave themselves the opportunity to be a legend. And that's what I want for y'all. I just want y'all to have the potential to be able to get all the things you ever dreamed of. And to understand that if you decide to settle, you'll only live your life with more regret. And I'm going to leave this segment with a little quote from my guy Rich Paul, and it says, "When I jumped out the plane, it was like you should be thankful that you got a first class seat. But what I'm saying is, I want the whole effing plane." I didn't want to use the profanity, but he wanted the whole plane. And what he's saying here is, while I might have a first class seat, while I might have a good situation that is better than most, I still want everything I ever wanted in my life. I'm going to go and chase everything I ever wanted, and I'm ready to risk this whole first class seat to get what I really want, and that's a whole plane. And some of us, we stick it out in that first class seat, and that's okay. That's an average person. You're just going to have the average result. But if you decide to hop off the plane, you're going to receive everything you ever wanted, or at least have the chance to. And you can hop off as many planes as you want to. But if you decide to settle on that first class seat, all you're going to get is a first class seat. So let's get into the next one, and that's being comfortable with not knowing. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Root of Everything podcast. If you enjoyed any point, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and rate us. And if you want to stay up to date, follow us on our other platforms and go to our website, rootofeverything.com, and hit the button called The Weekly Root to have a weekly newsletter of everything Root of Everything.